What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video. I have put together a nice little mini run of Power of the Force 2 Boba Fetts. These came out between 1995 and about 2000. I've got a few variants here, including convention exclusive. We got a couple of foreign cards and some other interesting items. And I also did a bit of research on some of the other much more rare items that are out there. I guarantee you that if you stick around in some of these other segments that I put together, you'll see some Power of the Force 2 Boba Fett examples that are extremely rare, and also ones that I never even knew about that maybe are not so rare, but very unique, convention exclusives and things like that. So I hope you stick around to see some of those examples. But anyway, I just received from an acquaintance of mine named Matthew, who, by the way, has an incredible Power of the Force 2 collection, including pre-production. I mean, it's probably second to none in terms of pre-production. But this is one that I just received from him, and it kind of spurred me to put together a more elaborate video with some of the other ones out there. But this one is the red card Boba Fett, and this one is the Japanese card back with the import Tonka sticker on the back, and I'll show you that in a second. But this is the red card Japanese back stand-up blister. It's an 85 plus with the archival case. 85, 85, 90 is the grade. This is the 1996 version, and a really nice example. Now, I'm going to give you in a second here the other alternative for this card back, and some of the other kind of interesting information about the Japanese cards. But this is the one that I have, and here is the Tonka kind of Japanese market sticker on the back. I've always wanted one of these, and when this one came up for what I considered to be a fairly fair price, I thought it was worth picking up. So very happy to have this one. These stand-up blisters are noted, you know, it's noted on the label, but how you can spot a stand-up blister, it has this bottom portion down here. But, you know, you can't get any more mint than this, I think. I mean, unless you find a 90 for one of these, but I've yet to see one. I'm sure they're out there, but a really nice example. Okay, let me show you some other information on the Japanese card backs. The stand-up bubble that you saw on my Japanese card just now is also available on US cards, like you see with the Luke Farm Boy on the left, as well as the tri-logo cards, like the Luke X-Wing you can see on the right-hand side. The other more common blister type that you see for these Japanese Boba Fetts is like you see here. On the left-hand side, you'll see the front of the card. It does not have the slanted top to the blister, and then on the bottom there's no portion to the blister that allows it to stand up on its own. Here's one more Japanese card for Boba Fett. This is the Green Card Collection 3, as you can see in the upper right hand corner, with the Tonka sticker on the back. This one also has the stand-up blister. As a side note, if you ever see a Collection 1 Green Card Boba Fett with the stand-up blister, that is very rare. No matter which country it is, that's one to pick up because you don't see those very often. Most of the Collection 1 green cards do not have the stand-up blister. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of the international examples that I have. The two that I have in front of you are not particularly rare, but I wanted to go ahead and show those. This is the THX insert tri-logo found in Europe. The THX insert was for the VHS release of the original trilogy with the THX sound upgrade, and it was only available on these tri-logos, and these tri-logos also came without the THX insert. So I'm still on the hunt for that one. And it's not particularly hard to find either with or without the THX, but most of the tri-logos obviously are located in Europe. So the shipping costs for a nice example often cost more than the actual carded figure itself, ungraded. So I just haven't been able to locate one here in the States that has reasonable shipping costs, but it's on the list. And so let's take a quick look at the grading label for this one. I've had this one for quite a while. This is the tri-logo THX insert and came back with an 85 Kenner Europe. So a beautiful example. And, you know, I've got a segment here in a second that covers a lot of the other, or a couple of the other very rare international carded examples for Boba Fett. But the two that I have here are not particularly rare. But this is the Canadian card back. I do not know if they made the square. There's a Canadian square card for a number of figures. I do not know if they made that for Boba Fett. I've never seen one. But this is the standard red card with the French language on the front of the card. This one is actually a yellowed bubble. I bought this and had it graded by Collector Archive, straight 90s. But it's got just a slight yellow tint, unfortunately. It's very, very slight. I didn't notice it when I sent it in, but it's okay. Maybe I'll upgrade it one day. But this is still a really nice example. And here's the back of the card. And so you can see the French language there. Le pouvoir de la force. Oui, oui, oui. So these are the two foreign examples that I have, other than the Japanese one, which I just showed you. And let's cut here, and I'll show you some of the other really rare ones. And here are two more ultra-rare examples of foreign card backs for this Power of the Force 2 Boba Fett. On the left-hand side is my buddy Stanley's Italian gig card back with the Guerra Stellare card on the front. This was made for the Italian market, obviously. And then on the right-hand side is probably the rarest of all of the different Boba Fett examples out there. This is for the Korean market, and it has a very rare Korean sticker on the front of the card. This is one of the only ones I've ever seen, and this one is owned by Matt Booker, and I found this in the Boba Fett collectors group. It's very difficult to find. And here is another example in my collection. This is the Philadelphia Toy Expo, signed by Jeremy Bullock. Rest in peace. He just passed away recently, obviously. But it's a really nice one. I got this one already graded. And because it was graded by AFA, this had to have been submitted by the original owner at the Philadelphia Toy Expo. Because otherwise AFA would not grade that, or would not grade it so high. This has got the modern grading scale, Philadelphia Toy Expo Boba Fett red card. And so you can see it's got the special sticker right here with Jeremy Bullock's photo. And there are a number of other Toy Expo exclusives, and I'm going to go through those in just one second. But this is a really nice item. And as I mentioned, AFA will not grade autographed items unless, or at least, the true grade of it. I think if you submit an autographed item after the fact, not at the convention, then they will grade it, but it'll be very low, like a 7.0. Whereas, this one obviously came back with an 8.5 modern scale. So this had to have been submitted at that Toy Expo originally. These Toy Expo exclusives, most of them have a number here. They're individually numbered for collectability. This is number 218. And so this is the Toy Expo version. This is the full circle on the hands, and I'll go through those error cards as well in a second. But a really nice one, and I'm glad I got it for what I did. I mean, nowadays these go for about double what I paid for it, so it's a really, really nice example. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other rare Expo kind of Boba Fett figures that are out there. Hold on one second. Jeremy Bullock was pretty famous for attending lots of different conventions out there, and here are some examples owned by my friend Stanley. The left-hand card is not signed, but it is a Japanese Expo exclusive called Witch Square, and it has a unique sticker on the front. And then on the right-hand side are two Toy Expo examples that Stanley owns. The red card is the same Philadelphia Toy Expo that I have, and the right-hand one is a green card signed by Jeremy Bullock that was a Japanese Toy Expo. Here are two more convention exclusives that were sold by Ross Fackrell in the Deal or No Deal group. The right-hand example is the Japanese Toy Expo that I just showed you in Stanley's collection, but the left-hand figure is one that I had never seen before. It was called the Max Powers Japan Convention Boba Fett exclusive, and this is the very first time I've ever seen this, but it features the Power of the Force 2 Boba Fett on a very unique card with Jeremy Bullock's photo on it. It looks like an oversized card back too, but I cannot be sure on that. It sold for $300 on Deal or No Deal last week. Boba Fett was known to have several errors on the actual figure himself. On the left-hand side is one with no circle on his left hand and then a half circle on his right hand. I apologize for the blurriness of the photo. And then the right-hand photo shows one owned by my buddy Matt. This one has no skull emblem on the shoulder for Boba Fett. Both of these can set you back a lot of money and are in pretty high demand. The easiest to find error figure is this one, the half circles on hands variant, where Boba Fett has half circles on both of his hands. This is an example that used to be in my collection, and I very stupidly sold it. But this gives you another error figure to look for. Finally, before we close up shop, this is my US card with the freeze frame action slide. I bought this maybe 3 years ago. It's a beautiful example, very high grade. And as you just saw in the segment regarding the figure variations and errors, this is the card back where you do see a lot of those. This one is just the standard full circle on the hands, and it does have the skull emblem on the shoulder. But it seems like for the vast majority of the major errors for Boba Fett, they tend to be on this freeze frame action slide. And so here it is. This is a very high example. It's a 90 grade, 90, 90, 95. Full circle both hands. So a really nice one. Now there is a trilingual version of this freeze frame action slide, I assume from Canada. And that is one that I haven't been able to find yet. I took a break from Power of the Force 2 figures for a little while, but I don't know. I go in waves, and so that is one I definitely would like to get. I'd like to get that trilingual version of this same card, but a really nice example. And here you go. Here is the back of it. Now, the other thing to look for a lot of these is which version of the freeze frame it is. This is a 0.04 version, so this is a later release where they probably corrected a lot of those figure errors. But, they start with 0.00 and go up from there, depending on which version or which manufacturing batch or batches it's part of. But anyway, so that's really all of my Power of the Force 2 Boba Fett collection. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the other rare examples that are out there to be on the hunt for. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments. If you like the video, be sure to like the video and subscribe for future content. And I look forward to being back soon. Thanks for watching.